Hello traders and welcome to our WMoptions Daily Market Review for the London session, Tuesday, April 5th. Starting it off with US markets. During yesterday's low-volume trading, US stock indexes edged lower as losses from oil companies offset healthcare gains. The US dollar traded flat on soft domestic economic data, and futures are declining again today. And Canadian dollar futures are following crude oil prices lower. Moving on to Asian markets, most major stock indexes in China and Japan depreciated today, along with commodity prices and a stronger Japanese yen, while the US dollar continues to trade lower. Australian dollar futures are moving lower after this morning's underperforming trade balance data from the region, and New Zealand dollar futures are following suit. And in European markets, major European stock indexes gained during yesterday's trading as data showed an improving labor market with unemployment falling to a 4.5-year lows, and index futures are flat today. Euro and British pound futures traded slightly lower yesterday on tepid economic data, and the two currencies are edging lower today. In commodities highlights, crude oil prices are extending yesterday's losses as investors doubt oil-producing countries will slow output. Gold prices are up almost 1% after 2 days of declines as US dollar weakens. And here are today's important economic events. At 8:30 a.m. GMT, a Services Purchasing Managers Index print will be released for the UK. This data is a leading indicator of economic health that's based on surveys of purchasing managers in the services industry. A reading above 50 indicates economic health, and economists expect this reading to come in at 53.9. At 12:30 p.m., a Canadian trade balance reading is due out. This data measures the difference between imports and exports during the previous month. Economists expect exports to outweigh imports by 0.9 billion Canadian dollars. At 2 p.m., a U.S. non-manufacturing PMI print will be released. This data is a leading indicator of economic health that's based on surveys of purchasing managers in sectors other than manufacturing. Last month's data came in at 53.5, and experts predict today's results to be 54.1. And tentative for today is New Zealand's global dairy trade reading. This measures the change in average price of dairy products sold at auction. Since dairy trade makes up a large portion of New Zealand's economy, this reading has a high market impact. This was today's London Session Daily Market Review. Have a happy and profitable trading day.